After this recent Indo-Pak conflict, when President Trump claimed of the mediation between India and Pakistan, we heard a lot of news revolving around crypto and blockchain. And this topic of crypto, which was almost dead for about a couple of years since Nirmala Sitharaman announced the certain taxes in crypto on cryptocurrency transactions. This crypto and blockchain were almost dead as far as our legal circles are concerned. But now, after this recent Indo-Pak conflict and President Trump's announcement of his company WLF, there are some deals, signing of some deals with Pakistan, it has again brought this crypto and blockchain to the fore. Now, as advocates, I very strongly believe that we should be aware of everything what is happening around us, because invariably anything may lead to a civil dispute or maybe a criminal offense. So what I'm doing is that I am creating a series of videos in which I will be navigating right from the fundamental concepts or building blocks of blockchain or cryptocurrency, going up all the way to the legalities, legal aspects, maybe philosophical aspects of cryptocurrency. And more than blockchain, this series is going to be focused largely on the cryptocurrency. Now, whether blockchain and cryptocurrency are same or different, all these things, all these nuances we will cover as we proceed. So guys, this is my first video, and in this I will be giving the fundamental view of blockchain and cryptocurrency. So just go on this beautiful ride with me. So guys, this what I've done is that I have prepared a short presentation on this topic, and in which we will cover the fundamental aspects of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Now, we often interchangeably use these words, crypto and blockchain. But are they different? Are they same? We will discuss all these topics as we go ahead and we cover the basics. Now, why this video matter today? The video, as I told, the video matters today because we have seen a lot of things happening around the cryptocurrency and blockchain, especially after this Donald Trump has shown a lot of inclination towards cryptocurrency, largely because he has his own financial interest, because there is a company called World Liberty Financials, which is owned by, 60% of which is owned by his sons. And the way the US federal government works, the President of the United States has certain inclination. Maybe there is a conflict of interest. Still, there will be a policy shift of the government towards that policy. So, since President Trump has his own vested interest, so we will be seeing, in fact, we have seen that there is a pro-crypto policy shift in US, and whatever happens in US, it does impacts the world, and it will definitely impact our country. Now, guys, the first fundamental question arises that what is blockchain? Blockchain is nothing but a platform which is built on distributed technology. But then the question will arise, what is distributed technology? So let us try to understand this distributed technology. It is a big disruption in the traditional approach. So we'll understand with the help of an example. Now, when there was the advent of internet, while it made our life very easy and it made our life very fast, it also created a problem of mistrust among the internet users. You send a mail and the recipient in all probability can modify the content, and it's not very difficult. And as the advocates, we see this forgery happening day in and day out. Then today the banking transactions, the property transactions all happen over the internet. And this mistrust or distrust created the need of development of an ecosystem which does not require the need of trust at all. Now, what does it mean? I'll explain it to you again with an example. Now, coming back to the topic, that is what is blockchain. Now, in simpler terms, as I said, blockchain is a technology which is built on the principles of being distributed and immutable. What is immutable? Immutable is something which cannot change. Now, together these features bring an unprecedented transparency into the system. That exactly what is we call either the ecosystem of trust or ecosystem which does not require trust at all. Now I'll give you an example with which you will understand the nuances of, with which you will understand in a better way what distributed technology is, which is the fundamental principle of blockchain. Now, say you go and buy groceries from a shopkeeper, but instead of paying cash, you say that, भैया महीने के एंड में सब करेंगे. So the grocer, what he does is that he keeps a ledger in your name. Basically, a bhai khata in your name, and he notes every transactions. 1st June, 500 rupees for atta and rice. 5th June, rupees 800 for maybe dal, makhan, etc. And so on. At the end of the month, you will go to the shopkeeper who will settle the bill. Now, this is the normal transactions we do day in and day out on daily basis. Now, but this kind of system creates a problem. The problem is, since here the grocer who is maintaining the records, there is always a risk, whether intentionally or unintentionally, risk of manipulation or error. For example, he may note down something by mistake. So, if in case it was 500 for atta and rice on June 1st, he probably may note it down as 600 rupees or maybe 1500 rupees. That may be by error. Or by manipulation, intentionally, he may change the figure. It may also happen that he writes the figure, transaction in front of you, takes your signature, and during the month, he strikes off that money and put a different figure. Well, you may not agree that that is the right figure, but what has happened? Forgery has happened. So, this system is a system which does not have trust in it. Now imagine instead of this, what we do is that we have, wherever there is a transaction, a record is maintained by the grocer. He shares that transaction record with you, and then he also shares it with say one of your friends, your roommate maybe, with your spouse maybe. So the same record which earlier shopkeeper was having, now it is there at 4 or 5, 3 or 4 or maybe 5 or 6 places. Now since multiple people having the copy of the same transaction, no one person can change it, because the moment he will change, he will be caught. And whenever there is a new transaction, it has to be written in every record or in every ledger where the record is being kept. And unless the person allows you to write in his ledger, you can't write it. So there has to be a consensus also. So what has happened here? A, the chances of risk of manipulation or error have become zero. The chances of fraud, of forgery, or maybe forgetting a transaction again has become zero. Now this exactly is the fundamental principle of blockchain, which is called distributed system. So what happens in distributed system, as you're seeing on the screen, there are multiple people in a network, every person will have the identical copy. So this is called distributed system. Now, since entries made once cannot be changed, because to change you need the consensus, it becomes immutable. So anything which has gone to the blockchain, it has gone on the blockchain, it cannot be changed. Now, these two things lead to what? Lead to the transparency in the system. Now, everyone involved can see and verify the same truth about the transaction. So, in short, blockchain is a system which removes the need to blindly trust any party. It replaces the trust which we need in a transaction with technology and consensus. And for added security, the stored information is encrypted so that no one can read it by plain eyes. That is why we call it as a disruption or a revolutionary technology. Now, whether in money, so what kind of transactions we do or what kind of application we can build? We use it for money. So when we say crypto, crypto is nothing one of the applications on which sits on blockchain, and that is what is the money is. There are experiments where the property records are being maintained on blockchain. They're not just experiments; they're systems now. And whether it is financial matter, property matters, or other assets, what is important is that integrity of data is maintained, and that is what the key feature of blockchain is. So, as I said, these are the features which make blockchain different from the standard databases. So, blockchain is nothing but a database where you keep your data, and that data is distributed, it is immutable, and it is transparent. So, these are the various ways in which it distinguishes itself from the standard databases. So, decentralizes ensures that no single point of failure or corruption of data is there. Immutability guarantees that once something has gone on blockchain, it is casted in stone, it is set in stone. Transparency builds trust, anyone can audit the data, and cryptographic security makes tampering nearly impossible. So these are a few examples of in which the blockchain is being used. Of course, the cryptocurrency is one which I'll not say which we deal with it on daily basis, but we at least listen about it, hear about blockchain, uh, even if not on daily basis, at least every now and then. And the biggest example is the Bitcoin. So the areas where blockchain is being widely used is in maintaining land and property records. In fact, when I was doing bit of IT stuff, couple of years till about 5 or 6 years back, I myself created a system called TrueMark, which was basically keeping all your registries, the land records and the property records on blockchain. So that concept paper is still there with me. If any of the governments wants, I can share the entire architecture as well. So blockchain is currently widely being used in diamond industry. The diamond certificates are maintained in blockchain. The source of diamond industry, that whether it is because there is a lot of issue of blood diamonds of Africa, which are discouraged. So big companies don't sell them and people don't buy them. So what is the source of that diamond is also maintained on blockchain, because the entire supply chain is maintained on blockchain, and hence you can right from the final end purchaser up to the miner which who has created, you can get all the details on of entire supply chain on the blockchain. There was another product which I envisaged, which I built when I was doing the software stuff, which was the loyalty, the customer loyalty points on blockchain. So, for example, again, the true mark, which the software which I discussed, which I created, was being used for that as well. Say, there is a liquor bottle. Okay, so in India, liquor, there is an excise on liquor which is handled by state. The way the current systems are there presently, A, there can be a leakage of excise duty because uh, how many bottles were procured from manufacturer and how many bottles were finally sold. There is no system which is foolproof. So you may have a scenario that you may source maybe 200 bottles from manufacturer, but only show 100 bottles in your records. So what will happen is that there will be a pilferage of excise duty. So the current system is prone to such kind of pilferage. Second thing is the spurious liquor. Now, since when you buy the product, there is no way as a customer you can validate that what was the supply chain, whether that product has been actually sourced from the real manufacturer or not. So you may have issue of spurious liquor because you can't verify. So if all these details are there, the entire supply chain is maintained on the blockchain. You can very well verify with a single click of a button or a scan of QR code. You can audit the entire supply chain trail. So that's another application which is being widely used on blockchain, which is for which blockchain is being widely used across the globe. So that's what come under public procurement spending audits. Then change of, no, if in case we talk about the law, our own field, the chain of custody of evidence, the digital identity of voting systems. So these all are the applications for which blockchain is being used very widely across the globe. In India, I think we are still very far away from adopting blockchain in day-to-day use, but maybe someday we'll definitely. But now let's look at where it all really began. The first and most well-known application of blockchain technology is or was digital currency, and which is famously called as cryptocurrency. And that is going to be subject matter of our concern in this video and the set of videos coming henceforth. Now, it all began in 2009 when Bitcoin was first introduced as a radical idea. What was the radical idea behind it? The money that doesn't need a central bank. Basically, money which is deregulated. Now, crypto wasn't just about sending money online. It's not like you have to transfer money from me to maybe someone else within the borders of India or outside the borders of India. Now, was that the reason for which Bitcoin was introduced, or was that the reason for which crypto was introduced? The answer is absolutely no. Absolutely no, because those systems, may be slow, were existing at that point in time and they still exist. So the idea was not to have a digital currency so that transfer of money becomes easy. No, that was not the idea. The idea was that it should be decentralized. That is, no one should own it. Deregulate it. Take the regulation away from the central banks like RBI. Now, specifically to Bitcoin is that there were the number of coins that can be minted. Now, what is minting of coin? Again, I'll explain it in maybe next video. So, there was only a finite number of coins which can exist. Now, this is virtue of every blockchain, that you have to have a finite number of coins which can be minted. Now that in case of Bitcoin is 21 million, but today the way the kind of compute we have and the way the cost of computing power has come down, we can have blockchains where we can even introduce, where we can even mint about billions of coins. But there will always be a figure, a finite figure to which the coins can be created. Now, another advantage of this cryptocurrency or digital currency, or when Bitcoin was introduced, it was that it was transparent and secure. And why? Because underlying technology is blockchain, which again, what is it? It's distributed, it's immutable, it's transparent. Well, in 2009, Bitcoin was just the beginning. Today, there are thousands of cryptocurrencies that serve different purposes. So, cryptocurrency could be, this may confuse a lot of people. Cryptocurrency could be a general currency like maybe Bitcoin or Dogecoin, which we use for, which we can use for day-to-day transactions. Then there are cryptocurrencies which are specific, which were for specific purposes. For example, Ethereum is one blockchain which has its own coin called ETH. Now it is used essentially for creating and running smart contracts. Now what is a smart contract? Again, I'll cover in future videos. If you understand smart contract, then take it for granted that you have understood the blockchain very well. Then the other blockchains are Solana, Cardano, Kudos. Every single blockchain is built for a different purpose, and they have their coins which are again used as for different purposes. Then there are few tokens which are also used as currency. Now again, what is token? I'll cover it in future videos. So they're like USDT and USDC, which is equivalent to $1. So one USDT or USDC will be equivalent to $1. These are tokens which are very widely used for digital payments. Now these are stable coins. When I say stable coins, means one USDT will always have a value which will be equal to $1. So its value will never fluctuate. Maybe it will fluctuate 2, 3 or 4 or 5% depending upon the need of the person who wants to buy it, the way the dollar value fluctuates. But it will not, like Bitcoin, one USDT will never become more than 1 lakh. Or the value of Bitcoin is much higher though. Then there are meme coins like Dogecoins, which again operate on blockchain. And Dogecoins, you will be surprised, is a valid currency if in case you want to buy a Tesla car. Let me correct, not Tesla car, I guess, certain merchandise from Tesla. Now to sum it up, blockchain is basically the infrastructure, which is a decentralized system for storing and verifying data. Cryptocurrency is an application, perhaps the most impactful and most important application, which is built on top of blockchain. So guys, this is what was the scope of this video, where I was wanting to cover the very basic and fundamental concepts of cryptocurrency and blockchain. I have not dwelled into technology at all. So in future videos, we'll now move from blockchain to cryptocurrency, where we'll deep into cryptocurrency, what are tokens, what are coins, Again, we may not touch technology at all. We'll keep it as much non-technical as possible, and wait for more videos to come. Till then, goodbye, take care, and keep watching my videos. Thank you.